The Child with the Bread Shoes by Theophile Gautier. Listen to this story, which the old grandmothers of Germany tell their grandchildren. Germany, a beautiful country of legends and dreams, where the moonlight playing on the mists of old Rhine creates 1,000 fantastic visions. At the end of the village, a poor woman lived alone in a humble cottage. The house was very poor and contained but the barest necessities in the way of furniture. An old bed with twisted columns, whence hung serge curtains yellow with age, a bread bin, a walnut chest polished till it shone, but the numerous worm-eaten holes of which were stopped with wax indicated a long period of service. An armchair covered with tapestry, from which the colours had faded, and which had been worn thin by the shaking head of the old grandmother. A spinning wheel polished with use. That was all. We were about to forget a child's cradle, quite new, very cosily padded, and covered with a pretty flowered counterpane, stitched by an indefatigable needle, that of a mother ornamenting the crib of her little Jesus. All the wealth in the little house was centred there. The child of a burgomaster or of an Aulic councillor could not have been more softly couched. Sacred prodigality, sweet folly of the mother who deprives herself of everything to provide a little luxury in the midst of her poverty for her dear nursling. The cradle gave a festive air to the poor hovel. Nature, which is compassionate to the unfortunate, made the bareness of this whitewashed cottage gay with tufts of houseleek and velvet moss. Kind plants, full of pity, although they looked like parasites, filled up the holes in the roof and made it as dazzling as a bride's jewels, and prevented the rain from falling on the cradle. The pigeons alighted on the window and cooed until the child fell asleep. A little bird, to which young Hans had given a crumb of bread in the winter when the snow made the ground white, had, when spring came, let a grain fall from his beak at the foot of the wall, and thence had sprung a beautiful bindweed, which, clinging to the stones with its green claws, had entered the room by a broken window-pane, and crowned the child's cradle with its cluster, so that in the morning Hans's blue eyes and the blue bells of the bindweed woke up at the same time, and looked at each other with an understanding air. This home, then, was poor, but not gloomy. Hans's mother, whose husband had died far away at the war, lived as best as she could on vegetables from the garden and the product of her spinning wheel.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?